All right, wrapping it up on sportsBIT Betting Insight today. Final segment with the props. We'll do the game, side, total, and Super Bowl history coming up tomorrow. Let's start with the oddball stuff. Controversy a couple years ago, but Luke Bryan, national anthem length, 2 minutes, 9 seconds. And the people are going crazy because there's him singing on YouTube with national anthem was only like 1:54. Well, they think he'll stretch it out in this one. Will he forget or omit a word? Yes, 4-1. Will they mention Trump? 1.5. The over-under in that one. Will they mention Gronk? Now, this is high. 3 times. Why are they going to mention Gronk 3 times? I can't believe how high that is. Will Brady, Goodell, and Balichek shake Goodell's hand after the game if they win? Yes, -180. Will a player kneel during the national anthem? No, -$2. Will they show Giselle over under 1.5 times? I think that's going to go under. I didn't even see her 2 years ago. And will they mention Deflategate 1.5 times as well? And Joe Buck is well aware of these props, Teddy, and he talked about it on the Howard Stern show.
Well, that's kind of cool. I didn't know Joe Buck had the nads to go on the Howard Stern show. Where are those numbers from, Paul? Do you know offhand?
Bovada,
right on. Yeah, and again, these are props. They're fun to talk about. The limits are low. Although, and you do have to worry about grading questions on some of them because, as you mentioned, there's been controversy in the past with things like the length of the national anthem. Let's talk about some more props that we like. How about let's talk about Dion Lewis. You can find Dion Lewis over under 39.5 rushing yards. You can find Dion Lewis rushing and receiving yards 66.5, and there's been a little bit of under money on those. And there seems to be a fair divide between what are the Patriots going to do. Is it going to be all blunt, or is this Lewis's chance to shine? Now, we know that Atlanta's biggest defensive weakness is against the run. I mean, they finished the regular season with the number 28th ranked rush defense. They allowed 4.6 yards per carry. We saw Seattle have success using a power rushing game in Atlanta's playoff opener before the Seahawks fell behind and had to abandon the run. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see New England come out with a run-heavy game plan, at least initially, in this one. Of course, Lewis, a non-factor against the Steelers. In their previous 3 games, the guy was running the ball. He's been a consistent pass catcher out of the backfield for Brady. I expect him to be a significant part of New England's game plan on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yep. Will there be a block punt? Yes, 6-1. Will the Patriots convert a 4th down? Yes, only plus $1.45. I mean, I can't believe it's plus money when you figure it to be a shootout. I haven't seen a price this low before. Will the team score 3 straight times? Yes is -175. Will there be a missed extra point? Yes, plus 330. There were 3 of them on Championship Sunday, Teddy. 3 different kickers.
Gostkowski's cold right now.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen this. He's been one of the most reliable kickers in the NFL forever. Or not forever, but since he came into the league. I mean, they let Vinatieri go to which is kind of a big deal. He's ice cold right now, and that's one of those plus price props that might be worth a look. The 4th down conversion is something I was thinking about as well. I'd rather will either team get a 4th down conversion.
Yeah, good point.
Successful 4th down conversion, even if I have to lay a little bit of juice to it, as opposed to taking each one individually. That way you're covered whoever is behind in the 4th quarter because they'll be going for it.
I bet that. I like missed extra point. I also don't bet will there be a successful 2-point conversion. Bet will there be an attempt. That's plus $1.55. So I bet that as well. And I think that'll happen too. How about Hogan? After he goes for a $180 against the Steelers, he's only 59.5 with yards.
Yeah, 59.5. There's 60.5s out there with Hogan. And there's significant resistance to the over. The wise guys have been betting under on this. And, of course, if you grade out his full season, you're not going to see stats that show that he should be, he was 44.5 yards last week. You know what I mean? This is a huge bump from where he'd been aligned at. But without Gronk, the way the Patriots have been game planning is to use Hogan as their number 1 guy. I like Hogan. Another guy I like is Mohamed Sanu. When you think about what's New England going to do, what do they do? Well, they took away Antonio Brown. You would expect Julio Jones to get double covered in this contest. So what does that mean? It means Matt Ryan's looking for 2nd and 3rd and 4th options. And Sanu is a guy who was real hot down the stretch. You can get him at over under 4 receptions. You can get him over under 48.5, 49.5 yards. And you don't want to take too many overs, but this is, it's a new receptions and yardage is something I would definitely take a look at.
Maybe Belichick says, let's let Julio do his thing. Let's shut down the supporting cast. This from Peter King. In 6 games this year when Jones didn't play or didn't do much on the field, a below-average performance, Atlanta went 6-0 and averaged 37 points per game in that one. How about more kickers? Matt Bryan, over 1.5 field goals.
Well, yeah, this is one that just comes down to the question is New England's red zone defense as good as it's looked? And in a game where you expect a lot of scoring opportunities, with the Patriots' propensity to force field goals in the red zone, Bryan over 1.5, minus 130, that's in my mind a very reasonable price to lay.
Yes. Now, this is fascinating. Now, in the 6 previous Belichick and Brady Super Bowls, they haven't scored in the first quarter. It's unbelievable. Look at this. Here are the scores in the first quarter with Belichick and Brady. 3-0, 0-0, 0-0, 3-0, 9-0, and 0-0. Come on.
Well, that's one of the reasons why we like the third quarter to outscore the first quarter. And again, you have to lay a little bit of juice, minus 130. But the propensity for slow starts, we always think about the Pats and Belichick off a bye. Patriots had 2 games off a bye this year. They had week 1, obviously coming out of the preseason where they had extra time to prepare, against Arizona. They were lucky to win that game. Arizona missed a field goal that would have won it. And they had the game against the Seahawks. Neither time did the Patriots offense march up and down the field. Neither time did New England win by margin. In fact, they lost at home to Seattle. So I worry about that Patriots offense coming with an extra week to prepare. Sometimes that's a positive thing for New England. I'm not convinced it's going to be.
You know what's crazy? You got a lot of those games that were scoreless in the second quarter. A lot of them went over, too.
Oh, they flew over.
They exploded. I know. We were watching the Seattle-New England Super Bowl together. That was scoreless, middle of the second quarter, and it went over as well. And then the one in Houston with Carolina and New England, that exploded as well. All right, it's been a great run. It's been a great football season. 47-27 on the season. Props, what are we going to do, Teddy?
All right, here's the one that absolutely stood out for play of the day standpoint. Will there be a defensive or special teams touchdown? And we are going to bet the no. You can find it as low as minus 175. We're going to grade ourselves at minus $2 with this prop. Look, Brady, a 28-2 touchdown to interception ratio during the regular season. 5-2 ratio in the playoffs. That's 4 INTs all year. Matt Ryan, 38-7 TD to INT ratio in the regular season. 7 touchdowns without a pick in the playoffs. So we're talking about 34 games, 2 quarterbacks with 11 interceptions combined. I don't see a lot of pick 6 possibilities in this game. The 2 teams combined for 1 special teams touchdowns all year. That came Deion Lewis's kick return touchdown that screwed our under against the Texans. That's it for the 2 teams all year. So they're not loaded with special teams playmakers. You have 2 quarterbacks that aren't making a whole lot of mistakes. And, do we have a chance for a fumble 6? Yeah, there's a chance. But minus $2, boy, that's a prop that makes a lot of sense to me. And again, you can find it at cheaper than that. Will there be a defensive or special teams touchdown? No! That's our play of the day.
Research before you bet. Be sure to check out SBR Picks for the best game predictions, breakdowns, and much, much more.